Welcome back to Bow News Network. We are actually tracking Tropical Storm Fred as it makes its way towards the Florida Panhandle. If you're new to this channel, by all means, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. We are now live streaming simultaneously to YouTube and Facebook. So, by all means, if this is your first time with Bio News Network, please go ahead and smash that like button. Join our fan page on YouTube, on Facebook, so that you can follow us with our live streams. We go live daily, at least once or twice a day, with the latest coverage of the latest weather. So anyway, so we're taking a look at the tropical storm Fred as it makes its way towards the Florida Panhandle, looking at 45 miles per hour. Winds. The pressure is about 1,000 millibars, and it's moving north-northwest at about 10 miles per hour. It's actually slowed down quite a bit. If we go to our Doppler radar, and that's one of the things we like to specialize with here at Bow News Network, is taking a look at the latest Doppler radar. We do see some remnant clouds, remnant thunderstorms in the region of Cape Coral, Tampa region, and as the system makes its way towards Pensacola, we can actually see some of the outer squalls coming into view. So there are storms that are going to be impacting the region of Pensacola, Gulf Shores area, Panama City, Mexico Beach area. Very shortly, they're actually offshore, possibly a few hundred miles, 100 or 200 miles off the coast at this time. And we do see some one or two cells that are actually impacting the coastline of Pensacola at this time. But as we go forward, we're going to see a few of these squalls actually impacting the southwest coast of Florida. So this will continue for quite some time because the system is for the most part largely disorganized as it makes its way. But the residents along the south, along the west coast of Florida, as well as a Florida Panhandle, are going to experience very strong tropical force winds as the system makes its way into the region. So that should be preparing for tropical storm force winds, as well as hail, possibly half of an inch to an inch hail coming down in the region. And it's not unlikely that there'll be a water spout or two, which spell very dangerous marine hazards. But we do see some special marine advisories along the west coast of Florida at this time as the system makes its way in. But we can actually see it actually making its way into the region, and we're going to be monitoring it to see exactly what's going to happen. We anticipate that it will start impacting, most notably that coastline, possibly around midday on Monday. Then it will progress into the area of Alabama, and throughout most of the day on Tuesday. It will be impacting Alabama, bringing a lot of significant rainfall, anywhere from up to 6 to 8 to 10 inches of rain in some localities in Alabama, and it will shift towards North Georgia into Tennessee, possibly on Wednesday. But this system is going to bring a lot of rain, and this area is already saturated by a lot of very high level of precipitable water table figures in this region. So it's going to possibly increase the chance of flash flooding along the Florida Panhandle, as well as along the Alabama coastline. So we do anticipate that this is going to be bringing a significant amount of rainfall to the region along Pensacola, Mobile, Alabama, Gulf Shores, Pensacola region. If we take a look at what's actually happening with Tropical Storm Grace, believe it or not, we actually have two systems in the region, and we're actually looking at some significant rainfall for the Gulf Coast states. But in the meantime, we do see off the coast of Puerto Rico, we were monitoring the radar and to see exactly the type of weather that was actually inundating a lot of rainfall in the region. And here we can see that the system was moving towards Hispaniola earlier, and bringing a lot of rainfall, anywhere from about an inch to an inch and a half per an hour, to some areas of San Juan, Ponce, as well as Caguaras in Puerto Rico, Arecibo, and also region. But we do see some cells that had hail, about a half of an inch to an inch, and these cells were moving anywhere from 18 to 22 knots, as it makes its way towards the island of Hispaniola. It remains to be seen exactly what will happen as it makes its way towards Dominican Republic. We can see right now that there's tropical storm watches for the region of Dominican Republic as well as Haiti. And unfortunately, as they continue to try and look for survivors and rescue survivors as a result of the 7.2 earthquake in the region, they're trying to move as quickly as possible before the tropical storm actually impacts the region in Haiti, and it's compounding the rescue effort of survivors. So our hearts and prayers go out to the Haitian people, especially at this very, very grave time, with the second earthquake. If you recall, the first one was in 2010, and it claimed the lives of over 250,000 people, and consequently led to a severe cholera outbreak, which also claimed the lives of up to 10,000 people. So we do want to make sure that we have our thoughts and prayers for the Haitian people, and also the people of Dominican Republic, because they suffered significant flooding as a result of that storm, the previous storm, Tropical Storm Fred, or Fred at the time. Possibly, I think he was a depression when it hit Haiti, the Hispaniola, before actually strengthening into a tropical storm, and it caused a significant amount of damage and flooding to the region. But of course, the level of calamity is much higher at this particular time, with the loss of life in Haiti, over 1,300 people possibly who have lost their lives, and possibly more, as they try to work very, very feverishly and very, very quickly to try and make sure that the tropical storm doesn't hamper the efforts to try and find as many survivors as possible in the region. Possibly on Wednesday, early morning, Wednesday, we see it actually moving over Cuba. It will continue to possibly disintegrate, sort of, and weaken as it makes its way over the Cuba landmass. It's basically going to be traveling across the entire cross section of Cuba, but will reemerge back into the Gulf Coast, the Gulf of Mexico, as a tropical storm. And on Thursday, and we're not sure exactly where it will be at that particular time. So residents along the coast of Texas, Houston, and other cities along the coastline should be preparing for a possible impact towards the latter part of this week, for tropical depression Grace at this time. But for the time being, here we are on late night Sunday. Residents of Dominican Republic should be preparing for very, very strong tropical force winds, as well as possibly locally damaging hail, possibly even a water spout or two off the coast of the Dominican Republic, as this system actually makes its way into the region of the island of Hispaniola. So as we continue to monitor the system, we're going to be taking a closer look at Fred. We're also going to be taking a Tropical Storm Fred, 45 miles per an hour at this time. Also going to be taking a closer look at Tropical Depression Grace, which is moving at a maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per an hour. The pressures are a little bit higher for Tropical Depression Grace at 1,011 millibars, and moving at a very slow pace to the west at 5 miles per an hour. So we will continue to monitor most severe weather approaching continental United States in the form of two disturbances, a depression and a storm. Tropical Storm Fred, as well as Tropical Depression Grace as they make their way towards continental United States. The Atlantic has definitely woken up. There's actually a third possible disturbance just off the coast of Bermuda. It does have a 90% chance of cyclonic formation in the next 5 days, and that system is actually heading towards the west, towards the continental United States. So we're going to have to be tracking all three systems or all three potential disturbances. Tropical storm, a tropical depression, and a potential depression just off the coast of Bermuda, and to see exactly what will be happening going forward into the middle of this week. So we do appreciate you tuning in to Bow News Network, and as we can see from our latest Doppler radar imagery, tropical depression Grace inundating the island of Puerto Rico with a lot of rain, but it is heading directly for Dominican Republic, so they should be feeling the change in weather very, very shortly as the system makes its way on into the region of Dominican Republic, packing winds of 35 miles per hour, maximum sustained. All of the indicators as far as the cell directions are concerned are all pointing towards the Dominican Republic. So this entire system will bring a lot of significant rainfall, locally damaging winds, and possibly hail. And let's not rule out possibly a water spout or tornado as a result of this system moving into the region. So that is our update for today. We'll continue to monitor these storms and make sure you keep track of Bow News Network, and you can follow us on Facebook at Bow to Weather on our fan page. And we do appreciate you tuning in to our live streaming weather report, and stay tuned for our next update. We thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great evening and stay safe. Thank you so much. And of always, remember to bow to the weather and keep the people of Haiti in your hearts and your minds and prayers going forward into the week, that they possibly find survivors as a result of the earthquake. Have a good day.